I'm making my own survival game, and today we're going to add crafting, a lot of new resources, leveling and much more. Let's jump into Studio. My first sketch for a crafting system was this. It's too similar to TSG though, and it was hard to script LOL. So I scraped that idea fairly quickly and came up with a new concept. Looks quite nice. Now we gotta make the UI. Here we go. We can work with this for now. And after a few hours of scripting, I got it so I can load in crafting recipes now. I thought this devlog would be fairly quick to make. Oh boy, was I wrong. Let's stop scripting for a moment. I wrote down a list with all the assets I want for the crafting table. Let's jump into Blender and start modeling. Yeah, this will do as refined pelt. The rope model was quite difficult, but I think it turned out quite well. I then made this bowl and bricks. And here we go. These are all the assets for now. Some coloring later, and they're looking pretty good already. So right now, it takes a long time to configure these items and make them work with the inventory. I'm going to do something about that later in this video. So let's just add the stick for now. I also made like a little podium for the items. It's going to be so satisfying to see this fill up over time. I just scripted the info side in the crafting menu. It shows the crafting course right here. The UI looks pretty decent right now, but it can't actually craft anything yet, so I fixed that. Testing session with the Discord testers. Currently, there's not really an easy way to tell when an item gets added to your inventory. That's why I added this UI. It basically just shows the item that just got picked up or crafted. Having only one tree type in Survival Tales is boring. But this model doesn't look exactly great LOL. I made it a while ago, so it's time to remodel. This definitely looks better. Import to Studio and color the mesh. Now configuring, and it works. New tree type unlocked. Nice. You should also unlock that subscribe button and press on the like one. Next thing I want to do isn't really needed, but I still want to try it out. I basically want to be able to send a message to the Survival Tales Discord server, link in the description from the Roblox game. You do that with something called a webhook. I mean, it kind of works, but Discord limits the amount of messages really heavily, so I switched to Guilded for those logs. Worked perfectly fine. Nice, so I can now log all joins for the game, and theoretically also send stuff like player A killed player B to this in the future. So, you might be wondering why I structured the crafting system in like these lines of recipes. Well, the answer is simple. You're going to be able to unlock the recipes from the left to right. That's what I coded here. I made this little lock icon for it. Earlier, I said this was the crafting menu for the crafting table. I do need that model now. The foundation for it is here. I now want to decorate it with some assets I made previously. That's basically the idea behind my crafting station. They're decorated with some of the items you can craft in their specific crafting menu. And then I had to optimize the model. Here we go, colored, and placed down. I really like the idea of the torch being here. And then Roblox went down. Awesome. The next day, I added a proximity prompt to the crafting table where you can directly open the workbench crafting menu too. Nice. Many people don't like this prompt though. Luckily, Roblox made a module with which you can easily modify the UI of them. I'll make a setting for which you want in the future. My custom one is basically just way smaller. I then shared a picture of that in the official Discord server. I'm doing that quite often there, and on top of that, you can suggest stuff for the game, chat with the community, and even apply for a tester to play the game and help me fix bugs and improve it. The link is in the description. Make sure to join it. Now I want to code my own Roblox Studio plugin to speed up the process of configuring items. With this, I basically add a new button to the plugin bar here. I then made this UI. Yeah, it's ugly LOL, but it's just to speed up my workflow. To showcase it, I select an item, press Prepare Models, and adjust this hitbox here. Then, I just select both of them and press Parent. And now I just have to add the lines to the information module, which is fairly quick. Yeah, This sped up everything quite a bit. I was able to add all the item models I previously made. Inventory filled up quite nicely with this. The next feature I'm going to add is quite unique. It's called quick crafting. You'll be able to select a certain amount of recipes and craft them directly in the inventory menu or the crafting menu. It displays the recipes here, and this will be the customization menu. I made a selected icon in Photoshop and finished up this UI. Looks quite clean and everything works fine. I press on that icon, can select up to 3 different already unlocked recipes, and they will then show up in the inventory and each of the crafting menus. Faulty here, a tester, found quite a few errors. Got a look into that tomorrow. Luckily, that was an easy fix. I then also came up with a better way of handling the tool equipping. There's now no delay on the client, but it's still the server that handles the tools. It's pretty cool. And now comes recording number 50 of this whole devlog series. Nice, I modeled this bush. That took so many tries lol. But it looks pretty alright now. Configured it and colored it in Roblox Studio. Works now. At this point, I made a pretty crazy decision. I scrapped the entire game's code and started over from scratch. Yeah, you heard right. The old code was a total mess, buggy, unorganized, and nearly impossible to work with. But over the past 6 months, I've learned a lot. And looking back at those old scripts, yeah, it wasn't great. So, for the next 2 months, I spent my time rewriting everything from the ground up. I didn't record much of the process, but kept the Discord updated. And now, the rescripting is finally done. But that's not all. I didn't just clean up the code, I also added a bunch of new features. Let me show you. Look at this, unlocking animations. And crafting ones. Way cleaner now. Breakables now move when hit and the health bar has a proper animation too. Dropped items jump out of the resource too. There's a search bar in the inventory. And then items have different rarities. And of course, you can finally drag items, instead of equipping them through this menu. The tool animations sync with the damaging way better, since they're handled on the client now. Backpack works now too, way better than before. And I added an offhand functionality. The torch can be equipped in that one, allowing you to break resources even in the night. I also made it so a red exclamation mark shows up above an item 10 seconds before it despawns. Yeah, just a lot of polishing and quality of life features. The rescript was definitely worth it in my opinion. I could have just ended the devlog right there, but some more things are left to do, starting with a leveling system. I had to make some stat bar UI for that too. I'll be working on those in another devlog though. This green level bar is the only thing I'm interested in right now. I don't know why, but I struggled with the placement and style of this bar for so long. I even asked the Discord what they think about it. Then, I had to come up with a level formula. I had to tweak that so many times, so that the early few levels are quite fast and the higher levels take longer, but still not too long. This was my final one though, and it works quite well as far as I tested it. Then, adding some UI animations, and here we go, a leveling system. This system took me about 4 hours lol. The next day, I added the complete quick crafting system to the rescript. I actually forgot to add that previously lol. I also made it so you can only add recipes from the station you were in before customizing the recipes. In human terms, you can only add a copper pickaxe from the copper smithy and a stone axe only from the workbench. That basically makes it so it doesn't completely eliminates the need of the crafting stations. I also added the functionality that I can lock certain crafting recipes behind a specific level. But by far the biggest part right here was data stores, also known as saving the game's progress over multiple sessions. That was my first time working with this kind of thing, but I'm pretty sure I got a solid system in place now. Now that I log off and rejoin the game, yeah, my inventory, loaded in again. Everything possible saves by the way, inventory, hotbar, quick crafting, unlocked recipes and the level. Nice. The last major addition to the game is another crafting station. Let me introduce you to the copper smithy. Well, I don't have a model yet. So let's hop into Blender. This model took so long to make. And yeah, it does look similar to the copper smithy in TSG. But that's because that's how they look in real life. I also remodeled the tools, made copper and copper ingots and the ore for it. Then, importing everything into Studio, coloring it and configuring. Awesome, that works. And because I already have the copper model, why not add a coal one real quick? I already had the model for the item, just no natural spawning source for it yet. And the last thing to do, fix tool use on mobile. That didn't work since the very beginning, and since a lot of the testers play on phone, they couldn't test all of the game, but it works fine now. Awesome. And that's it. The next devlog will be about building. Hope that won't take as long as this one. Here are the other devlogs. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Thanks to all my channel members. Special shout out to I'm Not Max Teabag 3. Thank you so much for watching and bye. Subscribe.